I mean, they make it, the music is great. What is up, everybody? Thank you for joining me for another reality train wreck with 90 Day Fiance The Other Way. As the madness continues, we have Shekinah and Sarper, who are nothing but an entertainment factory. James and Tata, who, why are they moving to Indonesia? I don't have a clue. Josh and Lily. Lily cannot stop letting him know that she spent all her damn money, and it's fantastic. And we have Statler and Dempsey, which Statler is in La La Land. But let's get right into it with Sarper and Shekinah.
Look at this, babe.
Yeah, you're back.
You know it's a party when starting right off showing her his back hair because that means love, apparently.
Back is very hairy.
Before you, it was a duty of girls to wax them off. And we are only girl in my life. I mean, the length of these hairs are proof of my love to you, you know?
And why wouldn't it be? The length of the hairs is proof of the love to his love for her or whatever the hell he's talking about. But, you know, what's the logic behind that? It just seems logical, does it not? But first, before we continue, make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to be looking at that live show. Looking forward to that. But let's continue.
Oh, you are my, it's the loyalty.
You have the most interesting way of proving your love to me.
He's saying my back is hairy,
Yeah.
so
I mean, this makes sense, doesn't it?
So it itches. So this is what I do instead of having someone else itch my back for me.
Nice logic. You know, when I say that this guy needs his own reality show, I mean, look, he's not the greatest dude. I mean, he's definitely got plenty of issues. He's probably going to cheat on her the first chance he gets. But if anyone needs a reality show that's going to be entertaining, this guy, Sarper, needs one. And fine, Shekinah can be a part of it, but Sarper needs his own reality show. That just, it is what it is, because he has now made the logical conclusion that because I don't have my back waxed by someone else or scratched or whatever, and I use this wall, that is clearly my love for you. He's a character.
Physically disgust me.
I have also similar love with you, babe.
Really?
Yeah, I picture imagine you pooping something.
What the hell did he just say? And of course, he has to double down on the madness that is, because I don't wax my back or get it done, it means I love you. So naturally, then it's like, you know, something that's disturbing or how comfortable I am with you. I sometimes picture you pooping because romance or something? I don't know. Listen, I don't know what goes on in that guy's head. I wouldn't want to be the person that can see inside there. That's all I know.
You know that? I even find
He said, you know that?
That and farting jokes so gross, but when I picture you like that, I never get disgusted.
So he's like, you know, hey, hey, fart jokes, they're funny. Guys, sorry, they're always funny. But, you know, he said, I find them disgusting unless I think of you. And then it's, you know, it's gross. What are you going to do? It's gross then. But except when I think of you, then it's great or something. I don't know. The logic is flawless. It's so madness filled that it's flawless, and you gotta love it.
Has been difficult.
So if the visa is approved, what are we going to do?
Good question.
I don't have any clue.
Ooh, this might be something you want to talk
If
about.
he's having doubts and hesitations about moving to the US, it makes me wonder if I should be investing all of this time being here.
I mean, what have you been doing with your life? This is the problem. So what happened is that, you know, originally she was talking about, I'm going to go over here, I'm going to live. Then she realized, oh, maybe I shouldn't just up and leave my daughter who's at a boarding school and, you know, move to Turkey. So now she kind of feels bad and is being like, well, we did the visa thing. Maybe we need to backtrack a little bit. Why don't you come to the US? Now, she probably thought, you know, I mean, you know, most people on these shows, they just want to get to the US, which, you know, great, land of opportunity and all that. He doesn't really feel the same way. And that's going to be a problem you run into because he was perfectly fine with y'all living in Turkey. And now he's like, yeah, I don't want you to be paying for everything. I want to be able to provide all this. So I don't know about going over there because what am I going to do? Like, she says he can make a bunch more money personal training, which maybe is true in theory, but you still have to build up a business. You talking about LA? Those guys who are, personal trainers that are juiced to the gills with steroids are a dime a dozen that will sell you on a workout plan and act like it's all about eating your greens and protein when in reality they're just juiced to the gills. Dime a dozen. You think he would fit in there and make a bunch of money? Maybe, but maybe not. And yet you're trying to sell this so you can be there. This is why they're not going to work. Neither one really wants to live in the other person's country, so it's going to continue to be a problem. But in the meantime, we will follow the entertainment that is Sarper and Shekinah because, I mean, okay, she's not as entertaining, but I'm sorry, but he's just entertaining, man. I mean, like, give the guy his own reality show and we can follow him around and watch him do frat boy type things because why not? I mean, that's what this is, right? Reality TV at its finest. Then we have James and Meiteila, or AKA Tata, who are an interesting couple because they thought would be the best. Well, okay. In fairness, I guess to her, it was mostly him that thought it would be the best thing to wait and tell his parents. But then again, we find out later that she hasn't even told her parents that they're planning on moving there. So I don't know how she can feel some kind of way about him doing it or not doing it, lack thereof. But she didn't do it. So it's an interesting dynamic. Either way, they decided to wait till the last minute. And who would have thought that it wouldn't have gone so well? Great job, buddy.
I ended up telling my parents that I am leaving for Indonesia
Oh,
after I told my brother Jimmy. My family, right now, not my biggest fan.
and I wonder why. Could it be because you've done this for now 2 times? Could it be because you're abandoning the family business that they rely on you for? Or could it be simply that they're your parents and your brother and you waited till the last minute to just let them know, hey, I'm leaving the country? I just think it's just inconsiderate. It's just inconsiderate. Even if they're like, you let go of the whole business thing and you're like, I gotta do my own thing. I can't stay on the family business. I mean, just not telling your mom and dad? Like, that's something is really messed up about that. It really is.
What they said.
It went about as bad as it could go. Mom was just saying how she's not happy about it. It's really short and last minute. She was crying, and Dad never said anything the whole time.
That's a dad for you. Probably just looked at him like, I have never been more disappointed in you. But he didn't say it out loud. He just said it with his eyes and probably just shook his head a bit. Like, the dads will get you. I mean, you feel bad for the moms, but the dads just with that disappointed look. It's like, you disgust me. That kind of look. And like, couldn't have gone any worse. I mean, I really don't know what he thought was going to happen in this case. Like, I mean, it'd be bad enough he did it for the first time, but not only is this the second time, but the first time he moved still in the country. Now he's leaving the country, and they're probably looking at you like, what, are you serious right now? They're just wondering, like, where your brain cells are at that you've clearly lost to drugs or something.
I have no house, no home. The only thing I would have is my family, and I'm sure even them not going to be super supportive.
No, you know what? Your family would maybe not be happy and they'd be, more like, we told you again if you came back, but I guarantee they would be there to love you, to take you in, be there with open arms. They've done it before and they would probably do it again. Now, should they tell you, I told you so? Should they tell you don't be stupid next time? Yeah, absolutely, they should. But they would probably be there for you. You're saying you come back to nothing. You're not giving them any credit. You're the one that did this. You're the one that didn't think highly enough of them to let them know ahead of time because you didn't want to face the consequences. It has nothing to do with you think it's what's best. It's because you didn't want to feel guilty. You didn't want them to maybe try to talk you out of it because, they might have some actual logical reasons that you may not want to move to Singapore. Like, I don't know. How are you going to work? And then when you say selling banana chips, what? What did you say, son? So this is, I mean, like, it's how you dilute yourself into feeling better. But it's really selfish. That's all it is. It's selfish, and you're not really thinking about the ones that love you the most, for sure. And then there's Indonesia. I mean, they make it, the music is great. You gotta love it. They make it like it's just the best place ever to live. Is like, and look, I lived in Japan for a number of years, completely different from Indonesia, obviously. Japanese, completely different cultures. But that fun kind of music and all these kind of like fun anime type, like we're going to dress up, we're going to do all these little dolls and characters and fun techno type songs. I mean, that's there. It's kind of a happy environment when you hear that stuff. I'm not going to lie. Like, it's been a long time since I've been there because I was like in high school. But, I mean, I miss it. I'd go back to visit sometime. Never know.
Iya. Apa sih?
It's never good when you start out with "Don't tell mom and dad."
Tata sama si James mau pindah ke Indonesia. Hah? Masa?
Is that really? She's like, look at her face.
Kenapa? Masalah kenapa?
She said, "What's wrong?" That's her. You want to move back here from the United States? She's like, "What? What's wrong with you?" Like, seriously. And you know what? The girl goes on to talk about her condition. They were talking about she was sick and her throat was swollen. She got back there and she, met with the doctor there and he gave her some herbal remedies that now her throat swelling is going down. One of two things happened. Either she was lying and using the medical excuse as a reason to get back because she's like, oh, they'll know me there when they gave you like some herbal tea. Or it was the environment because you completely changed from a warmer kind of climate from a colder climate and you just weren't adapted to it. Now, that would be a little bizarre considering the fact that I believe she had been there for a couple years. So, in that time, typically your body would probably adapt. However, living in another country your whole life, maybe not. So, it could have been that. Either way, I'm going to venture to say the herbal tea probably didn't have a whole lot to do with it. But either way, she wanted to be back home. I get it. She was homesick. Great. But is it the right thing for you and your husband? I mean, even your sister doesn't really think so.
Tapi kenapa kok
Look,
harus pindah ke sini gitu? Terus sana ditinggalin, bukannya di sana
exactly.
pun punya kerjaan itu. Kalau cari kerja di sini kayaknya lebih susah.
Yeah, see? Sister says it right off the bat. I'm confused why James would leave his job to come here. It's hard to find a job here. She goes on to say the minimum wage is tiny. I mean, it's like nothing. What are they going to do? Why would you come here? That's her whole thing. Like, I get it, it's home, but it's like, sometimes it's not the right choice. Now, whether it was for her or not, I don't know. Maybe she wants to live back there. But was it the right choice for her and her husband as a family? They got some stuff to work out, man. And then on top of that, him like going from, oh yeah, I'm a little scared to I don't really want kids because of the world we live in. Like, okay, all right, dude. And yet you're going to a country where the wages are even harder to come by, and it's going to be even harder transition and harder life. Seems not like the smartest decision, but I guess they got some stuff to work out. And then there's Josh and Lily, which is going to be a fun dynamic going forward because she's going to have to pay for everything. And because he's on the spousal visa or whatever it is, he's not on a work visa. He's not going to be able to work, and it's going to be years before he can. But they knew this going in. But yet now, for some reason, they decided to do this mansion. He's claiming she went over top with it, or whatever. But this house is ridiculous. They got an elevator in it, and now she keeps throwing it in his face that she's broke. But yet, he's not going to be able to contribute anyway because he can't work. So this is going to be interesting going forward. But nonetheless, some of the amenities are more interesting than others.
For us,
Love the toilet.
it can clean your
Shoot water.
eyes.
Yeah, it cleans your ice.
Clean your eyes.
Yes.
Yeah, nice clean ice.
You liked?
I mean, yeah, everyone likes a nice clean ice. So good for her. So I guess it's got like the super bidet with like the power washer strength. Like it could chip paint off the side of a wall. Yeah, probably. All right, that's fun. Is it an expense they needed when she keeps talking about she's broke? Probably not. But it makes for a fun clip.
Lily always, reminds me of how much money she spends for the house.
See?
It's exhausting. I don't need to hear it. I just got here. I don't want to be reminded of how much money she spends on me.
The question I have, and this is a good question, is that, that I thought of and me and my wife thought of when we were watching the show, is that if you're here, you have nothing, of course, but you sold your house. You didn't make anything on it. And it comes up later that, he can use a little bit of the money because he made a little bit off his house to buy the wedding dresses or something. But if you're coming over to another country and you want to move there, don't you think you're going to at least try to save a little bit if you're not going to be able to work? I mean, it would be the logical thing to do. And she's going to let you know that you are not making any money. She already is. You're there for one day, and she can't stop telling you how she's broke, making you feel like a very, very little man, very tiny man.
It hasn't even been 24 hours yet, and Lily is constantly mentioning she has no money.
Yes, she is.
It's a stab in the heart, because she knows that I can't work while I'm here.
Yeah.
I don't know if she's just stressed financially.
I mean, partially, sure, but also,
But
it doesn't change. I get it. She knew coming in that you wouldn't be able to work. She should have. Doesn't change the fact that she's a little bitter about the fact that she's going to be the sole breadwinner. Now, maybe that's wrong. She shouldn't have made it seem like it was okay, but, I would have expected this going in.
But scary, because one of my fears coming to China, that she's going to keep throwing it in my face every day.
Oh, she's going to. She's going to keep throwing in your face like a champ until you figure out a way to get out on that street and hustle you some money so you can contribute. I'm telling you, it's never going to end. First day, over and over telling you how broke she is, yeah, it's never going to. You better get out there and figure out how you can get some under the table money like people do with odd jobs in the U.S. Figure it out. I don't know, sell some street food or something. You want it to ease up, you better make some money. That's all I can say. Now, Statler and Dempsey are an interesting couple considering the fact that every time we have a show, Statler tries to make it seem like Dempsey did something. Last time it was, well, now she expects me to pay for this money for this van, but I mean, what is what's she doing? Come to find out, they had talked about it and they discussed her selling her car because she's going to move over there and they could use that money to go towards this van. And then she's like, I don't remember that. This has happened numerous times. So every time it happens, it makes you question how legitimate Statler is being about what's going on. I don't tend to believe her because she gets called out on it, and rightfully so, almost every time. And it's the same now when she's going into it about to move. Now she's questioning the motives, and she's questioning whether this is all because Dempsey needed somebody to help her get this van life. When in reality, Dempsey has been talking about this since day one, wanting to do this, even when she had her own place to live, saying that was the dream. You know what probably happened? Statler probably said, you know what? I'm going to move over there. We could do this. I could help with that. And then she's like, really? You would do that? And then she's like, sure. And that's how it came about. And now she's talking to her friend and and now she's talking to her friend and going into the fact that maybe she was used. Maybe Dempsey's just trying to get her the van life. What? What the hell? I think Statler wants to be a victim. That's what I think. Because every time it's something about something someone else is doing to her, and when she gets called out on it, she's like, oh, for real? That's kind of the way it ends.
To be with the love of my life. I do feel a bit jealous, and I'm hoping I don't feel resentful, because while I'm working, Dempsey is going to be free as a bird and able to really explore Europe, so that's gonna suck.
I'm going to be willing to bet there's more to the story than that. Whether it's this was her idea all along, saying, I can work remote, that's okay, because I'll still be there with you, and, you can live out your dream, or just, there's more to it. There is always more to the story. Always. But she never makes it seem like it. She always, poor me. I'm having anxiety attacks. I'm having a struggle. I'm doing all this, when it was her suggestion to begin with, like when she went over to England the first time. So it's fine if you have issues and trouble adjusting. That's fine. People have that. But don't try to make it seem like you didn't have a part in some of these suggestions, which she never does. It's always someone else's fault.
Yeah.
And what is she giving to this?
Yeah. Jeez, okay. This is a lot.
You've opened my eyes by making me see what is she giving into this. In reality, again, They came to this decision together. Look, I don't know what goes on behind the scenes, but all I know is the track record that Statler has says that she contributes into these conversations more than she leads on, and she makes her friends like this person who's ready to be like, that negative connotation word towards her friend or towards her girlfriend. What is she doing to you? She's doing this, she's manipulating you. She's the one that said on the reunion special that Statler always wants to jump in relationships. So to me, you know what that says? That says that she's having all these suggestions to Dempsey, and Dempsey's like, really? You'd do that for me? All right, sure. And yet not taking responsibility for maybe being impulsive and jumping the gun. At least take responsibility and say, hey, maybe I made a rash decision. We can take this a little slower. Instead, it's like, well, maybe she's using me. And that's where we're at.
Maybe that advice about like weighing what she's giving me versus what I'm putting in.
Yeah.
You're right.
What?
In the sense that I do give up everything to a person to try to keep their love.
Yeah.
Okay, see, she's still trying to frame it like, I give up everything. I'm the most giving, wonderful person ever. How about you are impulsive and you suggest things, then the other person's like, sure, that sounds good, and y'all come to this agreement that maybe you're not thinking through. At least take responsibility for that. I'm not saying she's a horrible person. I think she has impulse control issues and she suggests things or comes up with things or they decide things together and then she regrets them because maybe she didn't think it through. And if that's the case, something you need to work on. But don't always act like everyone's trying to take advantage of you because of things you suggest, because you have impulse control issues. There's a problem there and it needs to get worked on. And of course, you have a friend who's going to jump all over it, but friends do that. I can't even blame the girl that much for that. Friends got your back. They're going to have your back no matter what you say. They're not going to be like, well, what about this? Well, I don't know. Guy friends do that sometimes. Like, hey, man, behind the scenes, don't be an idiot. We fight all the time. We beat each other up and then we're friends again. Okay, so we do that. But, your friends still ride for you. Remember that. And that's what this girl's doing. So I'm not even mad at her. Fine. You need to work on your impulse control issues. That's just the reality of it. So we'll see what happens. I think they're going to fight nonstop once they get over there. She's going to hold a resentment because Dempsey should have known that it was rushed. I don't know. There's going to be an issue there. We'll see how it plays out. But fun nonetheless, entertaining, and all that. Thank you for joining me. I appreciate the support. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, share with your friends. Let's get to 1,000 subscribers. We are almost just 200 away. We're so close, so close. And then Married at First Sight. I feel like we're going to be getting the date here soon. Maybe in the next couple weeks. I think we're going to get the date of when it's going to actually start. So that's going to be fun. We'll get to that. And I will see y'all next week.